It's that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following for you on Channel Today have advanced. Here's your lunchtime update. Our reporters are out and about bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I am joined now by Nobesuthu Hejana in Cape Town. Pule Letshwiti-Jones is in Pretoria and Siphamandla Goge is in Durban. Nobesuthu, let me start with you. The City of Cape Town authorities and SANTACO, of course, bringing an end to the 9-day taxi stay away. How are things looking on the ground, though?
Well, we do know that the stay away was called off last night by SANTACO following a meeting with the city and the Provincial Transport Department. Well, what we found from that briefing this morning is that the city does say that it will maintain the law by impounding vehicles under 3 measures, which include if driver is found to be not having a license or the vehicle is unroadworthy, as well as if the vehicle does not have the permit to be on the road. But SANTACO initially had said that it will interdict the City of Cape Town impounding the vehicles when they do call off the stay away. But this morning we heard from Mr. ENCA saying that they have put a pause on that particular interdict. However, they have not abandoned their court case that will be heard next year in February, challenging the City of Cape Town's bylaws. All of these stakeholders have agreed to stop this until for now, as we do know that in 14 days all these stakeholders will sit and discuss the release of the impounded vehicles. But let's take a listen to Mayor Jordan Hill explaining the agreement and the terms of those release of the impounded vehicles.
Impoundments will continue under the NLTA offences: no operating licence, no driver's license, no PDP, no roadworthiness, no driving off route. Over the next 14 days, the taxi task team will begin the difficult work. I'm sure Ricardo and Rob are looking forward to that. The difficult work of determining a list of so-called minor and major offences. Major offences will be focused on those things that impact on passenger safety. That is our #1 priority at all times, is keeping commuters in our city, the passengers of taxis and other road users, safe. So things which fundamentally threaten passenger safety will remain as major offences, and other minor offences will not be impoundable. And that is the guidance that we will produce in a document over the next 14 days in the taxi task team. And we've said that the SANTACO, if they have what they believe impoundments for minor offences, they can bring us those notices and we will work through them together.
Pule, the clampdown on some striking City of Tshwane workers continues. The city has dismissed 93 workers in total now for taking part in an illegal strike for salary increases. How's it looking in the capital at the moment in terms of cleanliness?
Well, you know, things are not looking quite good for the South African municipal workers who are quite frustrated with the city not coming to the fore in terms of negotiating with them about the salary adjustment. Just as you can see on shot, you'd see that these are the members of the public order policing who are ensuring that there's law and order in the City of Tshwane, trying to control this unprotected strike that has been going on for about 2 weeks now. The reason why we would say it's unprotected is because the city did go to court to get an interdict against the strike, and the courts, of course, giving an order to say whoever would participate in this strike would then be participating in an illegal movement as well. And you can see on my left-hand side, that's where the workers are currently standing, as to trying to find a way as to whether what happens next. Now, when we spoke to the City of Tshwane, what they're saying is that there, of course, has been ongoing negotiations between some of the unions, including SAMU as well, and they are not getting, or rather reaching, an agreement as to what will be the next step of direction, because the city just does not have the financial muscle to meet the obligations or the criteria of what the unions really want. So it seems as though this will be an ongoing strike, but we were told that by next week the city will have an answer with the unions as to what it can do next, because now they've been pushed against the corner to go knock on the doors of National Treasury and try to see if they can't get funds. But Treasury has sent them back to say, look, if you can reach a 95% revenue collection in the city of Tshwane, and then we can see if we can meet you halfway in terms of assisting financially. So those are just the challenges that we're witnessing in the capital city. But let's take a listen to what the spokesperson of the Metro, Selby Bukaba, had to say earlier on when we had a chat with him.
Well, we're not only meeting with SAMU, we're meeting with all the unions, and those talks are informal. We've already had about 3 to 4 meetings. We are reconvening next Tuesday, and they've put a proposal on the table, which proposal we took it to National Treasury, because remember, we've got a budget that has been approved by Council and the funding plan that has been approved by both Council and National Treasury. So we said to Treasury, guide us on the process. Here is an approach from the unions saying, can we reconsider our position? In terms of the MFMA, you cannot tinker with the budget, but we can look at other mechanisms internally to try to fund the increase, salary increases, if there is a budget. As things stand, there is no budget. There is no money available to do all that. But we are meeting on Tuesday, and I don't want us to put the cart before the horse.
Sipa, the struggling eThekwini municipality has appointed former Mpumalanga Police Commissioner Thulani Ntobela as interim head of its Integrity and Investigation Unit. That position was left vacant after the resignation of Mbuso Ngcobo. But he is the guy who is said to have blown the whistle on the ongoing multi-million rand corruption case against former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Kumete. How does Ntobela rather, plan to revive and restore the integrity of that crucial municipality, Sipa?
He says one of the most important tasks that lie ahead for him will be to ensure that he fast-tracks the investigations that are still underway. There is a backlog here in eThekwini municipality in terms of the forensic investigations that are underway. Some of them date back to 2017, 2018. They have not been concluded yet, and that's something that is worrying and concerning if you take into account that we are talking about more than 300 cases that are still under investigation, and some of them have been going on for a very long time. There are certain employees that have been placed on special leave, which is paid leave, but their matters have not been concluded yet. So the city has brought in the new sheriff in town, literally, because if you take into account that this is a former policeman, former provincial commissioner of the police in Mpumalanga, who was very instrumental, by the way, in dealing with violent crime in Mpumalanga province, including the issue of political killings in that province. He has also worked in the Western Cape, in Cape Town, investigating and dealing with the underworld gangs, whereby he was investigating such cases. So this is a high-profile individual who has been given between 6 and 12 months of his contract to say, please come in and stabilize this unit. It's been plagued by a number of negative things that have been happening. The ongoing case that involves the Durban solid waste was investigated by that unit, and the previous heads have reported threats of intimidation. We interviewed him today and asked him what is his vision and how does he plan to change or turn things around within 6 months. Please take a listen to Mr. Ntobela.
I've noticed that they've got a backlog with investigation. So from next week, I'm sitting on one-on-one, going through the files and not knowing who is involved in the file. I just want the facts of the case and where they are and what is a blockage. So I've set up the whole of next week to do that process. After that, it will pave a way of what needs to be done.
Right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Nobesuthu Hejana, Pule Letshwiti-Jones and Siphamandla Goge. Thank you very much, team. Let's leave it there for now.